friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little bit different type of video. I'm going to go down to my food storage, and I decided, I kind of first saw this idea from Kimmy over at She's in Her Apron. I will try to link the exact video that I watched that kind of gave me this idea, but she was putting together like some meal kits from her food storage, kind of with the idea of like how you could use up your food storage. And I want to put together some meal kits from my food storage. One, to be able to grab and go, like if we had any sort of emergency and we needed to grab some food to take with us, I would love to have some kits all put together so I don't have to think about it. Two, I love to give people meals when they've had surgery, when they've had a baby, if they're just sick. Oftentimes there will be like Facebook messages within our little community Facebook page where people are looking for groceries and they just need a little help. So I would love to be able to have some kits made up that we could just deliver those to people, or you know, sometimes when you have a baby you have like too much food that's already cooked and everything, and then this way we could just give a kit. Hello, Julia. This way we could just give a kit to people who might want to make the meal at a later date. It'll all be shelf stable. So that's kind of my idea. So I'm going to go down to my storage room and I'm going to start pulling some ingredients. I got some giant Ziploc bags to be able to keep everything together, and then I'll probably just put them in a tote downstairs by my food storage and kind of keep it separated out. So let's go downstairs and start pulling some ingredients. Alright, I think I'm ready here. I don't have any recipes for any of this stuff. I literally just went down to the food storage, grabbed stuff that I thought would make good meals together. So now I have these jumbo Ziploc bags, so now let's get them all packaged up into their own separate kits. Alright, let's put together our first meal. This is going to be my taco soup recipe. This is the biggest Ziploc bag I have ever seen. Alright, so what I have, this is just my basic taco soup recipe. I don't have any canned ground beef, but I do have ground venison. Actually, it's shredded venison, which will be just fine. A can of pinto beans. 2 cans of hominy. I like the golden and the white, but either one is fine. 2 cans of that. A can of regular diced tomatoes. A can of Rotel tomatoes. Diced green chilies. And then I didn't have any individual packs, but I just measured out taco seasoning and ranch dressing powder, and that is everything that's in my taco soup recipe. Now you could label this. I'm not going to because I know what it is, but you could label it if you wanted to. Let's get the rest of these done. We're going to call this meal beef lentil soup. I have some tomato sauce there, some beef stock. I think I have green lentils, which those will just cook right up in the broth. There's no need for extra water. And then this giant can of beef to go along with it. Then I have salt, pepper, onion, like dehydrated onion, and some garlic powder, which I made up a couple of those for different meals just to have some seasoning with everything. This is good old chicken noodle soup. I have a can of corn there, some chicken breast, and that comes in like a broth, so you will just dump that in as well. I happen to have some dehydrated carrot, celery, and onion. If you didn't have that, you could absolutely just get another can of veggies to go along with it, or just some dehydrated onion, like minced onion that they sell. I added some bone broth and then some egg noodles as well. And with all of those noodles in there, that will be plenty. I didn't feel the need to add a side with this one. This is Thai curry noodles with chicken. So I have those brown rice ramen noodles. I really like those from Costco. Some bone broth. We have some red curry paste. That's my favorite kind. I just get it at Walmart. Gives everything really good curry flavor. A can of coconut milk. Now those ramen noodles will cook right in the coconut milk and the broth. There's no need for extra water. And then a can of chicken breast. I also happen to have some dehydrated peppers and onions, which of course you could leave those out, or you could put a can of veggies in there to substitute. This one is a vegetarian meal, so I chose to use bone broth just for some extra protein. I have these stir-fry vegetables, which if you've never had them, they're kind of unique. They're just good stir-fry vegetables in a can, some baby corn to go along with it. And then I happen to have some instant rice, which I thought would cook up nicely. So I would probably cook the instant rice in the broth and then drain it or save the broth and then add the veggies on top. And then we just added some applesauce as a side. Next up is lasagna soup. I have some home canned spaghetti sauce there. Obviously you could substitute store-bought. I didn't have any ground beef in a can, so I'm using shredded. I put some beef stock in the bag, and then I've been liking brown rice pasta because it just fills us up more and there's a little more nutrition in it. Some Parmesan cheese to go on top. And then I also have that seasoning bag of minced onion, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and then as a side, I just threw in whatever dried fruit I had, which happened to be cherries. The next meal kit that we're gonna put together is chicken alfredo something or other. A jar of alfredo sauce. I have a package of linguine. A can of chicken. And then chicken stock. So my thought process behind this is I wouldn't want to have to bring any extra water to like boil pasta in. Like let's say in an emergency, you would want that water for drinking water. And so my idea is to cook everything in one pot, like with the chicken broth. It gives extra nutrition, and then you don't have to worry about cooking water. You can just worry about your drinking water. That's just my thought process behind that. And then as a side, we have some green beans. You could throw an extra can of green beans in there. You could add any sides that you would want to. The next one is going to be beef barbecue with a bunch of different sides. So I have this can of beef, which I'd gotten at Walmart a while back. It says servings per container about 14, but we know that this can of beef is not gonna feed 14 people, especially if you're just having like it's not mixed in a soup or anything. So this is a big can of beef. It's 1 pound 12 ounces of beef. Then I have a bottle of barbecue sauce. I have some hash brown potatoes. Now these would need some water to reconstitute. You could probably reconstitute it in broth, but it takes such little water, like it only takes the size of this carton of water to reconstitute. So that would be worth it to me. It's not like a whole pot of water for boiling. Then we just have some fruit, some mandarin oranges on the side, and also some green beans to go on the side of that. Probably should have said this at the beginning of the video, but I'm in my bedroom because it's the only quiet place in my house right now. All 3 kids are home and they're all doing their various things, and so it's just very loud out in the kitchen right now. So we're just putting together meal kits in my bedroom. So we have the last 2. This one is called like chicken and rice casserole, but obviously I probably wouldn't have a casserole dish with me and I wouldn't have an oven. So you could easily make this in like a 1-pot meal, we could call it. So I have, again, a can of chicken. Contrary to what some people think, I think canned chicken is delicious. So to each his own, but I think it's a great product. Cream of chicken soup. Now I decided to put instant rice. I just happened to have some, and so I thought that would be a lot easier to reconstitute than cooking rice, you know, a long time in a pot. So I have instant rice and I have some bone broth. I tried to pick out bone broth for these just because of the added protein in it, for like an emergency type situation, but you could replace it with whatever you wanted. And then I have my little seasoning packet here full of the minced onion, garlic powder, salt and pepper. And then as a side, or you could mix it in with it, I just have some French style green beans. If you're gonna mix like beans into something, green beans, I really like the French style cut. They just blend in nicely with that. So here is that one all ready to go. And then our very last one that we're going to be doing here is, we'll call this hash brown chicken casserole, or like a 1-pot meal. So I have 2 of these hash browns. I do have some chicken bone broth. Again, I have a can of chicken. I have a cream of chicken soup. To get these bags to like sit kind of stable is a little bit hard. Then for side, so again with that one, you could do like, it would be like a 1-pot. I would just dump everything in the pot. I would probably reconstitute the potatoes with the broth first, let them sit, and then I would mix everything together, heat it all up. You could even add in the corn if you wanted to, but corn would be a good side dish. And then again, some cinnamon applesauce. It's just kind of nice to round out your meal to have a fruit and a vegetable to go with it, but really you could put whatever you wanted with it. So that is all. I think we got 10, but the whole point of these meals are that I'm just going to keep them down in my food storage in a tote. If we need If we need them in an emergency, we would just grab that tote, grab our water that will sit right by it, and bring it with us. Now, if I was going to like donate this food or send it to like a friend would be fine, but if it's somebody I didn't know very well, then I would replace like that taco seasoning I just have in a baggie. I would replace those with like actual packets. It makes people a little more comfortable if stuff's not opened. Does that make sense? But other than that, these are completely ready to go, and it gives me peace of mind knowing that I have some stuff that I can just grab and go. Or, you know, these would be great to take with you camping. Let's say you don't want to bring a cooler and you just want to bring the basics. You could totally take this camping, bring your water, and you would be all good to go. I hope this video was helpful for you. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye!